Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to our YouTube channel, and if you're watching us from our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you want to tweet the show, you can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I tried to do. I tried to make it nice and easy with one handle. But thanks to some hackers, here's what you got to do. On Facebook, I'm at Shawn Sierra. You know, let me get the actual thing on Facebook. What's my handle and shit? How would people find me? Share. Would I share the? I don't know. I have to. Personal details, profile, work, education, all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know how to do it. Here, profile settings, share profile. No, copy profile. Okay, it's Shawn.Sierra.2025. Shawn.Sierra.2025. That's my Facebook. That's how you can find me on Facebook. On Twitter, you can find me at ShawnSierra33. All right, thanks to a hacker over there, you sons of bitches. What are you going to do? Why'd you take that? Anyway, on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, I'm at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, we got a great show, man, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat, because we had jumped a little bit this morning. I like it. I like it a lot. My man, Black Diamond, checking in early. He says, you're top of the morning, gang. FGB, what? T-minus 6 days in counting before we find out what them boys do at 25. Yes, sir, Bob. My man, Armando Emeterio. A lot of juniors in the house. Junior, checking in. What's up, buddy? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for even saying hi to me. That's great, buddy. And that's my guy. That's my buddy. Thanks. Mr. Southside himself, Michelle Walls, was what up on the Mickey Ficky? TGIF, how about the burpees from yesterday, Superback? I don't even want to talk about them stupid ass burpees from yesterday, bro. No. Do not want to talk about them stupid burpees, bro. Insane. Do not want to talk about it. I thought of you, and I was cussing you out yesterday in CrossFit class at 5 a.m. No way. Mr. Shorty, what's up, Papa? How are you? He's checking in. Top of the morning, Sports Zone fam. Shorty's in the house. Mr. Shorty's in the house. My man Cornelius, what up, Shawn and Sports Zoners? Cornelius in the house. Thank you very much. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Here's another one. My man, King Booker World, checking in. Zick Shawn, Black Diamond, Junior, Michonne, Shorty, Corny, salute. Yes. Let's see what we're talking about, Petty King. Oh, and Shawn, we might be in play for Bears season on a watch party. Allegedly, I'm next up to have the weekends off. I'll keep you posted. Woo! Okay. All right. All right, cool. Definitely keep me posted. Listen, I got a great show at 10 o'clock. My man Jacob Infante from Windy City Gridiron is going to join us. We're going to talk more Bears prospects. We'll talk NFL draft and especially who the Bears could be targeting at 25, what he thinks the Bears may do with the 25th pick. So Jacob Infante at 10 a.m. Fired up. I like it. We're starting to get a little football talk. King Booker World just told me he might be in play for all the watch parties next year. Woo, Charlie. I like that kind of party. Yes, sirree, Bob. So, my White Sox yesterday, let's just say I was cussing at the TV. Let's just say I was not happy. Moms was not happy. We were both watching the game. And man, oh man. We got to be patient. But I mean, as Sox fans, how patient can we be? We're 6-13 right now. We're a third of what we need to be. All right. I talked about us flirting with 500. We keep losing games, losing series. That was a game we should have had yesterday. Definitely a game we should have had yesterday after going up at the bottom of the eighth, bringing in our closer. Sir Anthony Dominguez gives up a homer to the first batter he faced to tie the game in the ninth. Then he loads the bases. And then he gets taken out. And then 2 walks, pushes it to 5-3. You talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's a game we should have had. And these are the games, and I understand it's early. It's only 20 games in. We're not even a month into the season. But there are already plenty of games that the White Sox should have won. Now, hopefully there are going to be some games that the White Sox should lose, but end up winning later on in the season. Hopefully it balances out. But right now it's really difficult to watch this team when they're not doing the little things. All right, Colson Montgomery, he's going to have to get sent down, man. All right, they're throwing him down and in. That's all they're doing to Colson Montgomery is throwing him down and in, and he can't lay off it. He can't catch up to it, and he can't lay off it. So one of your big power hitters, the book on him is out. So now, son, what adjustments are you going to make to the adjustments that the league has already made on you? After playing half a season last year, there's tape on you. The book is out. Down and in. Down and into that left-hander. Can't get it. So now what are you going to do? What are you and the hitting instructors at the White Sox going to do? because the league has made their adjustments. Now you need to make yours. And it's frustrating because we're there. We have the talent. We have the talent to be around 500, and we're not. Edgar Carroll yesterday with a nice little ground rule double that screwed us. And as soon as he said it, it's so funny. This is why I would love to be an announcer. Because as soon as they said it, remember, there were runs on first and second. The runner on second was scoring. The runner on first, who I believe was Chase Mydroth, would have scored. Because the ball was hit over the left fielder's head. It bounced and went into the stands. If it would have hit the wall and come down, Chase probably would have, most likely would have been able to score, and that would have put us up another run. Just tough. Just tough. And I get frustrated. I try not to. Like I tell you guys, don't get frustrated. It's early. Man, when so many bad things are happening early and so many things don't go your way early, it gets frustrating, especially because of the last 3 years. Last 3 years, 3 100-loss seasons. Right? We're trying to stay away from that. But at this pace, we are going to be smack dab in the middle of 104, 106 losses. So we got to start playing some good baseball. We got to just win series. That's it. I don't need sweeps. I don't need a 10, 12, 20-game winning streak. I don't need that. I need some good, solid baseball, good, solid, fundamental baseball, base stealing, hitting the cutoff man, taking pitchers deep in accounts, getting the starting pitchers out, and start winning series 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. That's all. 2 games to 1. That's all we got to do. We don't have to. That could be no more than a 4-game winning streak. You lose game 1 of the series, they win the next 2, win the next 2 in the following series, lose the 3rd one. We don't even need a 4-game win. We just need a 2-game winning streak. Just go win 2, lose 1. Win 2, lose 1. Win 2, lose 1. Win 3, lose 1. Win 2, lose 1. Like, come on, man. This is what we need. And we got to get to that point, but we have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. All right? It's tough. You can't get – believe me, I wanted to get mad at Sir Anthony Dominguez yesterday. I'm like, we got you as a closer. We got you in a – here's a situation where you wanted. We got you for this situation alone. And early. Remember, all these games count. So this game's going to count early. When we have a chance to win games early, to stack them. We bring in our closer, the guy we brought in to be our closer. His first real test. And he blows it. He blows it. King Booker World, you're right. It's going to be a long next 2 to 3 months. Hopefully they can do it by June. Hopefully. Because, yeah, Shawn says $1 million failure for the Sox closer. I agree. But I mean, closers are finicky. He could go on a streak and just be lights out for the next 2 months. But how many times are we going to need him in the next 2 months because we're up a run or 2 going into the 9th? That's where we got to get to. All right, that's where we have to get to. We got to get to the point where we're up in the 9th. And one of the things that we have to do, we have to embrace the small ball. We have to embrace the small ball. If we're not knocking the ball out of the park, we need to embrace the small ball. Get them on, get them over, get them in. And I know you guys are sick and tired of hearing me talk about bunting. But get a guy on. Got to do it. Let me see. Yesterday, our starter was Jason Leisure. That's who our starter was yesterday. Come on, man. I don't want this nonsense. Give me. Thank you. Our starter was Jason Leisure. He went an inning in the third. So he was an opener. An inning of third. Look at this. Inning of third. No hits, no runs, one walk. Then you bring in Anthony K. Well, my question is, like, this starter nonsense is just that. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Why are you putting Jason Leisure before Anthony K? Who the hell are you scared of? And if you're scared, why the fuck are you playing sports? Why are you playing professional sports if you're scared to face a batter? I mean, we're not talking Barry Bonds here. I don't give a damn who is on that Tampa Bay team. Let your starter face him in the first inning. I don't care if we want to worry about his confidence. Damn it, screw his confidence. Grow the hell up. You're at the big leagues now. Literally the big leagues. You're with the big boys. You're going to be playing against all-stars. You're going to be playing against future Hall of Famers. Deal with it. Grow the hell up. Stop coddling these guys, Will Venable. Stop it. And if you're a pitcher, I'd be mad as a mother Hubbard. Wait, I want to pitch against this guy. If he gets me, he gets me. Guess what? Lesson learned. I'll learn how to pitch against this guy, but also other good hitters moving forward. No, let's coddle. Let's protect him. What? What kind of bullshit is that? You talk about the wussification of America? Here it is. Seeping into professional sports, into baseball. I don't want my starter to have to face the third batter because he can hit really, really long home runs, and I don't want to hurt his confidence. Come on, man. Grow the hell up. Man up. An organization's got to stop this bullshit. This childish nonsense. Starters are stupid. Because what is the purpose of a starter? To bypass one of the main hitters, the number 3 or number 4 hitter in the lineup? So the actual starter can come in and not have to face him the first time around? Come on, man. That is ridiculous. And I don't care who says what. I don't give a damn what stupid ass stats you want to show me, what your metrics say. That's stupid. That is stupid. If you want to compete, then compete, damn it. Compete against the best. Not, well, let's skip him because he's real good. I don't want him to face this guy because our pitcher's a righty. This guy's a lefty. He has a better shot. He's a really good home run hitter. And I worry about my kid's confidence. Well, if you're worried about his confidence, you shouldn't have brought his ass up to the majors then. Because guess what? Let me tell you a secret. They got the best players in the world. The best players in the world are in the majors. So you're going to face somebody. You're going to face them. So stop with this nonsense. Stop with this coddling of these athletes. You talk to anyone who pitched in the early 2000s and before about a starter. They were like, what? Most of the time, the pitcher's like, I want to face those guys. I want to face those guys because if I get a Barry Bonds out, if I get, who's their number 3 and 4 hitter yesterday? Let me see. Simpson, Caminero, Mullins, Diaz. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So if Diaz is the big bat, or Mullins, the number 3 hitter, is your big bat, and a pitcher, I want to get him out. I want to face him because you know what? If I get him out, I'm on a roll. If I go 3 up, 3 down in the first, or get out of it and face 4 batters maybe, who knows? Guess how much confidence I have. And I know I got to face them another time or two through the order, but I'll give my own confidence by getting those big boys out. Not bypassing, I'll take the 4th or the 5th hitter and the 6th hitter to start the game, to start my game. No. Whoever thought of this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Ever. Coddle athletes. Most of these pitchers want that smoke. You want to be good, you want to be great, then you face those batters who are good and great, and you battle. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Stop this nonsense because it's ridiculous, and it's making it's just a further weakening of our society and how it's in sports, permeating into sports. Listen, we're going to take a quick break now that I'm fired up. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to get to our top of the morning topics. All right, since I went on my rant on my White Sox because I'm pissed at them. But don't forget, top of the hour, Jacob Infante from Windy City Gridiron, NFL Draft Analyst, going to join us. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so...
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created gervondextersr.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know this city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My future stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information and my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Irvin. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out jcoinreports.com and follow me on Twitter at jcoin.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
They're going to be one of the top pitching staffs in the league.
Shaw hits it out towards left center field. That's going to touch down and bang up against the wall. Matt is into second, and he's got a double. Line drive out into center field. It'll fall for a hit. Around third, coming home is Matt Shaw. Nico Horner has done it again. There go the runners. Throw down to third, and it kicks away and into outfield, and now Nico is going to get up. He's going to race home. Into third is Bregman, and after the error, the Cubs have the lead. Fly ball hit in the air, left center field. That one back, and it's gone. Nico Horner will touch them all. He unloads out into left center field. That's his second of the year. And the Cubs now on top 5-1.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those Cubs courtesy of the Marquee Network. That was Wednesday. The Cubs with a big win over the Phillies, taking the rubber match in that series. Again, those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Let's get a crack-a-lackin', baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go. Let's check it out. The first top of the morning topic. Where did we go? Which way did we go? Talking about my guys yesterday. Good guys from the South Side, man. They're struggling. They are struggling. The White Sox. They fall to the Tampa Bay Rays 5-3. Sir Anthony Dominguez, our closer, he got the loss. He came in the ninth with a 4-3 lead, a 3-2 lead, excuse me. He got the loss. He's 1-2. Won his first blown save. Edgar Carroll was 2 for 3 with a double, his first, driving in his first RBI of the year. Pereira was 2 for 3 with a homer, his third of the season, driving in his fifth RBI. And Miguel Vargas got the scoring started. He's 1 for 5. He hit a homer, his second of the season, driving in his eighth RBI of the season. Chase Mydroff was 2 for 4 with a double, his fourth on the campaign. So what happened now? The White Sox, they travel. They're on the road again. The White Sox are on the road. They go to Sacramento, from Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area, and back down. They're going to face the Sacramento A's for a 3-game set. First pitch tonight is at 8:40 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 a.m. The probables for tonight's game for the White Sox: Davis Martin takes the bump. He's 2-1 with a 2.50 ERA going up against Aaron Savale. Sox fans should remember him from last year. He's 2-0 with a 1.72 ERA. Keeping it moving, the next top of the morning topic was the Cubs. That was from Wednesday. All right, the Cubs, they put a pounding on the Philadelphia Phillies, 11-2, taking the series. Shota Imanaga, he got the win. He's 1-1. He went six innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 11 punch outs. Why did I do that? Why did I have that twice? What the heck? I remember why I have it twice, but yeah, that's crazy. There you go. I know I had that twice. Nico Horner. Nice day at the office for Nico. He was 3 for 5 with a homer, his second homer of the season, driving in not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 RBIs on the season, bringing his total to 18 in the early part of the campaign. Dansby Swanson. He was 3 for 5 with a homer, his fourth of the season, driving in his 10th and 11th runs of the campaign. Big days. I'm telling you, what was that 21 runs in the last 2 games for the Cubs? Are they starting to hit their stride? I don't know. We're going to find out. But speaking of the Cubs, we're going to stay with them for the next top of the morning. Top of the Cubs host the Mets today at Wrigley for a 3-game set. First pitch is at 1:20 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 104.3 FM or 670 AM. The score. The probables for today's game: the Mets. Kodai Senga, he's 0-2 with a 7.07 ERA going up against Edward Cabrera. For the Northsiders, he's 1-0 with a 1.62 ERA. One of the things we didn't talk about the other day, the Bulls. The Bulls now have 2 first-round picks after the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Phoenix Suns in the play-in game late well, this was last night. This was on Tuesday night. A lot of people, myself included, went to bed late Tuesday. Game had not finished because they're on the left coast. So we woke up Wednesday morning to find out that Sacramento had won, thus giving the Bulls another first-round pick. So now we have 2 first-round picks. Woo-woo! What are we going to do with them? I don't know. I'm concerned. King Booker World talking about the pitching staff is going to be bad for this first half. You're talking about the Southsiders? I don't know why, bro. I don't know. They shouldn't be bad, but Junior talking about his Cubs finally getting key hits. I don't know if key hits, bro. You put up 11 runs. I mean, how many key hits do you have? It's not like it's a 5-4 game and you got 3 2-out hits. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck? No, you're just being silly. Junior says, Bulls are going to trade those 2 first-round picks for Bronny. And King Booker World says, it just means they're going to trade one of those picks for 3 second-round picks. Bulls want to have 10 second-round picks. Pretty much every 3 picks the Bulls have are selecting. The Bulls are 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22 with their 10 second-round picks. The question is, who's going to be making those selections? Junior said they had been putting wood on the bat. It was just at players. Well, that's the thing. You know you're doing well. When you're making contact, it is just at people. It's only a matter of time. It's the law of averages. Only a matter of time before you start missing people, before you stop hitting them right at people. That's the only thing you want. You want to make sure you're making good contact, and this is where the psychological, the mental part of the game comes in. Because if you're in an 0-for-7 slump and 5 of those 7 at bats, you put good wood on the ball. It was just bang, a one hopper to the shortstop. Bang, great shortstop made a great play. Phenomenal diving catch in right field by the center fielder in right center. All right, they could be at someone, but if you're seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand, you're seeing the rotation, sometimes the ball is just not going to go your way. It's not going to fall for you. And the other times it will. So if they've been putting balls in play, getting good wood on it, and just at people, well, you got to be happy. You just got to say, hey, tip your hat. That's the law. That's the baseball gods. It happens. But you know that just means you have to stay with the same approach that's working. Get back to the process. Everything's right. They got fielders. They got guys who are getting paid millions of dollars out there to stop you from letting the ball be in play. It's okay. It's okay. But if you're barreling up a ball and teeing up a ball and you're getting good wood on it, do not change your approach at all. Do not change your approach. It's the player's job to understand that. It's the hitting coach's job and the manager's job to go up to that player and say, listen, you are doing phenomenal. Do not change your approach. Do not change your preparation. You know how the baseball guys work. There are times when you can just knock the cover off the ball for a week or so. But they're right at people. And you're in that phase. Stay tried and true. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep preparing the way you're preparing. And they will start falling. guaranteed. And if the last 2 games are any indication, the Cubs might be in that window where the ball going to fall a lot in the upcoming few series. But this is where the psychological part comes in. This is where the players have to understand it. The manager has to understand. The hitting coach, you got to stay positive with those guys, because it's easy to get frustrated when you're putting good wood on the ball, yet you're making outs. Your batting average is going down. Because just about everybody checks their numbers. And you know when you're in a slump. You know when you haven't gotten on base in a while. Believe me, they know. They know. So it's imperative that the mental part is there for these athletes. And you don't have to tell them every day. Just he's got to understand that. They've been playing baseball long enough that they should understand that they're just not finding grass. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. They need to be strong enough to understand that. Have it reinforced once by the hitting coach, and reinforced once by the manager. Don't keep going every day. Oh, you had a tough one today. You hit a couple of good barrels on the ball. No. You're doing good. I see what you're doing. You're doing great work. It's just you're just hitting them right at people. Keep it up. It's going to change. Boom, and that's it. As a player, you got to have the mental fortitude to understand that. And what about Shota? What the hell is that all about? Get rid of this. What the hell is that all about? 6 innings? 3 hits, 1 run, 1 free pass, 11. Count them, 11 punch outs. That's 2 strikeouts an inning, almost. He's looking good for you guys. I bet you didn't have that on your bingo card. 18, 20 games into the season showed us your best pitcher. I bet you didn't have that on your bingo card, Cub fans. But whatever works, and this is why it's a team, because you have guys who are going to be able to carry. And the Cubs, I was talking to one of the guys at CrossFit yesterday. I'm like, statistically speaking, if you just look at the names in the Cubs lineup, there really is no easy out. I believe I said that on the show. There is no easy out. You got a whole bunch of ballers. Here you go. No, let me get this. Let me look at the other games. Here's your lineup. Nico Horner just had 5 ribbies. Alex Bregman just had 3 ribbies. Was 3 for 5. There's 1 for 4 the last game, but had a couple hits. Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, Michael Busch, Dansby Swanson, Miguel Amaya, Pete Crow Armstrong, Matt Shaw. That's your lineup. All these guys, literally, all these guys can carry you for 7 to 10 days. Every single one can be hot for 7 to 10 days. So you have no easy out in that lineup. So what you want is you want about 3 or 4 of them hot. The other guys struggle. Then when the other guys start to get hot, the 3 or 4 who were hot, they start to struggle. You have another 3 or 4 who are picking up the slack. And when those 3 or 4 guys who got hot in the second go round start to cool off, the last 3 guys or so can carry you. That would suck if you play a team and it's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters carrying a team and beating you in a 3-game set. 7, 8, and 9 destroy you. That is a swift kick in the nuts for a baseball team. If you're like if just say 7, 8, 9 get to bat 3 times, so that's 9. Say those guys are 5 for 9. Couple of ribbies. That hurts. That hurts baseball teams. But fortunately for you guys, you have those guys on the team who can do that. You mean to tell me Matt Shaw, PCA, and Miguel Amaya can't get hot for a week or so? Hell, PCA was hot for the whole first half of the season last year, up to the All-Star break. So you just got to get more guys hitting. I should say you just have to continue to have a plethora of guys hitting. Yeah, they got you in the first game, Judy, and you kicked their ass in the second 2 games. You put up 21 runs in 2 games. 21 runs. And I know you lost the first one 13-7. Touchdown, 2 field goals you gave up. So you're tutty. 10-4, 11-2. You gave up 6 runs in the last 2 games, and they had 13 in the first. Guys are doing work. You guys are doing work. I mean, you're back. We're back to 500. If you saw the thumbnail, back to even, back to 500. You're still in the basement, but man, you're 2 games back. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are 11-8. Milwaukee and St. Louis are 10-9, and you guys are 9-9. That's nothing. My White Sox should be 7-13, 7-12. They're 6-13 after the game yesterday. Man. All right, easy there, Shorty. The fact that the Scrubs retain so many Cub fans when there were more Cub fans there were more Seagulls at the game than Cub fans. All right, it's not for you act like the Cubs have been a booming franchise. All right, you had a good year. A good 3 or 4 seasons with the Rizzo, Bryant, Baez crew. But let's not forget in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, the Cubs sucked. Let's not get it twisted. How are you still fans when the Cubs organization opened a ticket brokerage, sold tickets to themselves, and then resold them to you at a higher value? How are you still a fan? How are Cub fans still fans after someone screwed you over like that? If that was a friend, if that was anyone else who did the same thing, like, hey, I got a guy who got tickets. But you were that guy, hey, you know what, my guy, he said tickets are 50, but he's charging 70. And you bought him, and then you found out later that that your boy was the actual guy just raising the prices legally to sell you. How are you still a fan? How are you guys still fans? There were years the Cubs put nothing into that product because they knew you guys would go to that game. A lot all those daytime games, you take days off of work, from school. They know they would fill that ballpark, and they didn't have to put anything into the product on the field. Let's not get it twisted like the White Sox have been the only bad team in town for long stretches. The Cubs were. How do you think you got called the lovable losers? How do you think you came up with that moniker? It's not losing one season or two seasons. So let's not get it twisted. Don't be talking shit about my White Sox. When you let the organization sell you tickets at a premium and you guys bought them. So don't come at me with the White Sox and how we've been fans. How are you still fans? Get me started, shorty. It's your Cub bullshit. Take my White Sox serious. Tell Junior, he knows. Hey, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Let your boy cool off. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Jacob Infante from Windy City Gridiron, and we're going to talk Bears. The Bears. I'm fired up to talk some Bears. All right, so keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Everybody in a work zone is someone somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Defensive side, Emmanuel Forbes
Williams banged up. We'll update that when the Bears get it back. Stafford and Trevor got hit as he threw it, and that ball is recovered for the moment by Kyron Williams.
To do with what you got. Done a pretty good job.
Another 3rd and 11. Stafford again. Shot for Nakua. Brisker knocked it away. What a series for Jaquan Brisker. Williams and Roger McCreary are at the corner right now. 3rd and 2. Williams out quick. First down, Colston Loveland. Bumped at the 37-yard line. First down for Chicago, a gain of 11.
Both have been jackpots.
Pressure coming from the Rams. Williams out quick. There goes Monunga. First down to the 41-yard line.
Blitz.
3rd and 9. Stafford in trouble. And down at the 20-yard line. Tyler Gordon.
I don't know about you, but I just got some goosebumps just watching Bears football. Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. That was a snowy night in Chicago. Oh, man, that sucked. Oh, that sucked. We had them. They had them. And a miscommunication between Caleb and DJ led to the pick. Don't get me started. I don't want to go down that road. But anyway. Well, a lot has transpired. The Super Bowl happened. We got a Super Bowl champion. Free coaches. We got the coaching carousel that's going on. It went on, I should say. Free agency is started. Now the draft's coming up next week. 1 week from today, we will be talking. We should be talking about the Bears' number 1 pick if they don't trade out of the first round. And to help us navigate that, it's a good friend of the program. We've been rocking with Jacob for years. All right, he's a Bears NFL draft contributor over at Windy City Gridiron. You can find him on Twitter at Jacob Infante 24. Guys, welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports. Jacob Infante. Jacob, what's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Shawn? Good to see you.
Likewise, dude. Just watching those clips got me fired up, bro. You don't even understand how fired up I get when I watch football, especially good football.
Oh, yeah.
And when our Bears are playing good football, God, is that so fun and exciting. And, man, and I just can't wait until the season starts and we get some more good Bears football this season. But let's talk about next week. Next Thursday is the day. Round 1. Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The Steel City. And not Gary, Indiana, but the Steel City, Pittsburgh. And we hold the number 25 pick. Right off the bat, what do you think the Bears are going to do? D-line? And if so, edge or tackle? Or trade back? There's a lot of prognosticators who said the Bears may trade back if there's a team willing to give them a nice package, no Diddy. Give them a couple second-round picks. Your thoughts, where you think the Bears are going with that first-round pick next Thursday?
Yeah, so I look at this year's defensive line class, and I think there's a lot of potential to be good value there at 25 at defensive tackle and defensive end. I also consider the secondary. I think that there's a lot of potentially good value at safety, where you see if Caleb Downs isn't going to be there, but potential, if Dylan Thieneman falls or Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo, I think they'd have to be under consideration as well. You can go a lot of different directions. Maybe, Ben Johnson talked about, okay, maybe they look for more of a long-term option at left tackle with Ozzie Trapillo's injury situation playing out. And you don't know. And I think in this class, if you're taking a long-term option, that means taking a tackle in round 1, just because there's next to no value in round 2 or round 3 at tackle in this class. So I think that would have to be up for debate as well. Maybe they go corner 2 as a Tyreek Stevenson replacement. You can go in a lot of different directions. I think defensive line is definitely the biggest need. I'd say D tackle over defensive end personally, but I think that if there's a D tackle or 2 who go before 25, then I think there's going to be a better value at edge. So I'm leaning edge at 25 if they don't trade back, which maybe that's a possibility, especially if Ty Simpson's still available and you see a team like the Cardinals or the Jets, one of those teams who need a quarterback, a long-term option there. If they're willing to, part up with some draft capital to move up there, I'd certainly consider that as well. But right now I'm leaning defensive end.
Defensive end. So who are you thinking? Give me a couple of names that you think would be a great pickup for the Bears at 25. I know a lot of people have mocked Zion Young, so he might be one of your names, but give me a couple other names of potential DNs if that's the route they go with 25.
Yeah, I mean, Zion Young's definitely one of those guys as well. I think that you look at this class, you have to try and find, a little bit bigger guys at defensive end, who can win a little bit more with power, who can set the edge in the run game. So Zion Young definitely fits that bill. TJ Parker out of Clemson, more of like a stout.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, stout edge rusher, somebody who's got that short area quickness to threaten tackles off the speed rush a little bit. Keldrick Falk out of Auburn as well is someone where it's kind of tough to gauge at this point where he's going to go because his 2024 tape was really good and he's got prototypical just massive size and long arms, really good power, but the production just hasn't been fantastic or it wasn't in 2025 and the consistency hasn't quite been there. So you're betting on upside with him, where he might have the highest upside of any edge rusher you might be able to get in round one, but the floor is a little bit lower. So any of those three guys, I think, would be strongly in consideration there. If they trade down, then maybe Gabe Yakis out of Illinois is another guy where he's got the short area explosiveness and the raw power where, okay, maybe he's a little bit raw in the run game, but he's an effective pass rusher with such a deep arsenal and ways to beat offensive tackles at the point of attack. So I'd expand it to four guys to include him as well. I think those are who you're looking at as potential options at the end at 25.
But they wouldn't have, would he have to be a 3-down edge? Because don't forget, we still have Austin Booker. We still have Dio. I mean, if we got a guy who's basically a one-trick pony that we could basically coach up. There's a crazy idea. Coach and develop these guys into being a better run stopper. Does he have to be a really, really good and all-around, well-rounded defensive end, or could we just go get a one-trick pony and let him do his thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could go in either direction. You don't necessarily. You're right. You don't necessarily need a 3-down defensive end, especially with what they have on the roster right now. Like, they don't obviously have like a star level player alongside Montez Sweat. And that's something I think eventually they'll need. But in the short term, you can definitely get by with multiple good rotational players. Like that's a lot of what the Seahawks were able to do at defensive end. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence played at a high level, but he was more of like a short-term stopgap kind of guy where, you rotated in Derek Hall coming off the edge. You rotated in Boye Mafe coming off the edge. You had Uchenna Nwosu, taking some pass rushing reps as well. Guys like that. I think, you need to have a deep rotation of defensive linemen. I think Chicago, or if they don't realize that, they should, because the last two Super Bowl winners have won off of having just a super deep, super talented defensive line rotation. So they don't necessarily have to be a true 3-down starter right away by any means. I mean, obviously that's the goal if you're taking a defensive end in round one, that they develop into that. But I mean, in the short term, you need a contributor, but you don't need someone who's going to, play every single snap. I mean, they have enough talent on the roster that they can rotate it in. But yeah, I mean, ultimately the goal is to have like that 3-down starter. It just might not have to be right away.
If that's the case, if they're up, because, one of the things Ryan Poles loves to say is we take, the best player available.
Yeah.
Would they tend to go D tackle if they're able to get the number 2 or 3 defensive tackle as opposed to the number 4 or 5 or 6 defensive end at 25? Would they go? What if McDonald from Ohio State is there, or what about from Florida, or what would they? Do you think they would be looking at a defensive lineman if a higher D tackle is available? than the defensive ends?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, in this class, I don't know for sure if the, like say third or fourth defensive tackle would be better than the fifth or sixth edge rusher. I think there's just a little bit more like late round 1, early day 2 kind of range. I think there's a little bit more talent at edge rusher than at defensive tackle. But I think if, it's such a weird defensive tackle class because you have guys I think can be good starters in the league eventually, but you don't have like a true 3-down contributor right away. Like you have that at edge in this class. You don't have that at defensive tackle. I think Peter Woods out of Clemson would give you the best chance to do that. But even then, he had some inconsistency in 2025. The ceiling's very high, the spatial awareness as a run defender, the power, the quickness that he shows, but the production, again, like it was with TJ Parker, the production was down for him at Clemson this year. The snap by snap consistency wasn't tremendous, but I do think at the same time, you're looking at, maybe Caden McDonald as well. Like you mentioned, it's an interesting fit with him because he's very much more of a, like a true run stopping defensive tackle type.
Nose guard?
Yeah. And I don't know necessarily if he's going to have the explosiveness to make that move and to fit in that Dennis Allen scheme where at this stage right now, you're going to need more of like an explosive 3 technique defensive tackle than, a gap eating nose essentially. But McDonald's, obviously an incredible player. What they could do is, if they go defensive tackle round 1 or with their first pick, wherever that ends up being, maybe they trade back. That's something they could consider too. But I think that there's, a decent amount of value on day 2 in this class, a defensive tackle. I mean, Grayson Halton out of Oklahoma had a, 82.9 PFSN defensive tackle impact score. Really, he fits, like I mentioned, that super explosive 3-tech defensive tackle sort of role where he's a little bit shorter, but he uses that, natural lower center of gravity to his advantage with good leverage at the point of attack. So I think someone like him, or you look at other top performers in, that PFSN defensive impact score, like, Tyler Onyedim from Texas A&M, a little bit lower down the board. You can go in the direct, he ended up with an, 81.9 score. A handful of other guys as well. I know Caleb Proctor doesn't have a score because he was, FCS level, but Southeastern Louisiana, freak athlete, had over, I think it was 9 sacks, and with 2 of them came in his game against LSU. So if you are looking at a small school prospect and you want to see how they do in like the 1 or 2 games they play against bigger competition, Proctor played up to his competition for sure. So all that to say, I think the value is going to be a little bit better in round 1, or sorry, in day 2 at defensive tackle, more so than round 1.
So would it be good business sense then if somebody wants to jump up in the first round, they see the quarterback late that they want, they see whatever the hell it is they see, would it be, how good of a business move would it be for the Bears to jump back in and acquire more second round picks? Because you're probably going to get a second round pick, probably going to swap picks with that team who's in the second round. And if you can get another second round pick, I mean, how smart would it be to acquire go the Chicago Bulls route and get like 37 second round picks this year? Because there's tons of value at edge, tons of value at D tackle. And now we don't have to worry about first round contracts. The money's a lot lower. You got Caleb, you got to extend pretty soon, and now you got these guys on second round contracts for 4 years. How beneficial would it be for them to maybe think about trading back financially if you can get similar value? Because now now the defensive coach got to earn their paycheck. You got to develop these guys because there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of players who have first round grades, but there's only 32 selections in the first round. There's more than 32 people with first round grades, so they're going to spill into the second round. How smart would it be for the Bears to maybe consider that route?
I think, I mean, in this class in particular, it would be ideal. I mean, it takes two to tango, and I think that, you're going to need to find another team who has a high enough grade on a player that's like, all right, we're going to be willing to move up, you know, 7, 8 spots, 10 spots, 15 spots, whatever it would end up being, and be willing to part with draft capital in order to move up for a guy. What's generally perceived as a weaker draft class compared to most recent years.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, I like I said, I point to Ty Simpson, the quarterback out of Alabama, being a potential guy, kind of like Jackson Dart last year, where the Giants moved up into the back end of the first round to be able to acquire him. And they gave up future draft capital to be able to, to have him on the roster to pick up that 5th-year option. I think, if you're looking at Simpson, that could be a guy where he's not going to go top 5, top 10, but he could go, later in the first round if, teams want to have that 5th-year option to work with. So I think that would certainly be ideal. And then, maybe in that case, you'd have to trade back into the second round. You'd end up with 3 second-round picks, which, for the second year in a row, that wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I think, and whatever draft capital you get on top of that, I mean, you're probably looking at, a 3rd rounder and then maybe like an additional pick on top of that. But I think obviously it's easier said than done, but it would be ideal in this class to where I don't think there's a massive difference from the talent you get at 25 from the guys that the Bears could end up getting with those second round picks at 57 or 60. I think it's it's not the top heavy nature of this class isn't very strong, but there's a lot of good depth here.
In the second tier of players.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if they trade back, they could still get a very similarly graded player early in the second round. And then, you're probably looking at an extra 3rd rounder on top of that. And there's a lot of good value in round 3 in this draft class as well. So that's another reason I was a little bummed that the whole Ian Cunningham comp pick situation didn't work out, which I still don't understand to this day. But it's something where maybe they rectify it. Maybe they can make up for it by trading back with their 1st round pick and then getting an extra 3rd rounder out of the mix. And, then you're looking at 5 picks in the top 100 and suddenly you're back in business.
Big time guy, Jacob Infante. He's a Bears and NFL draft contributor over at Windy City Gridiron. We're talking Bears draft right here on Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, dude, I like that. I like because there's so much talent now coming out of college. And now, granted, it might not be superstar talent, but these are guys who can contribute. All right, these are guys who can contribute, and there's a bigger pool of those types of guys. So now you just you and your coaching staff gotta say, okay, which guys fit my system? Dennis Allen got to go find some Dennis Allen guys. All right, we saw that Ben Johnson. Well, let me ask you this question: how wild and crazy would it be for the Bears to take a wide receiver at the 25th pick, or with one of their 2nd round picks, 2 2nd-round picks? Because Ben, the cool part about Ben is that this is his offense. It's not a Shanahan offense, not a McVay offense. It's not a hybrid of someone else's offense. This is his offense. So he knows exactly what the hell he needs. And if he sees another dude like Luther Burden last year, who had a 1st round grade by many people, but because of there's only 32 slots, he fell into the 2nd. Luther Burden staring him right in the face. Is there a chance? Give me the likelihood of Ben Johnson saying, no. I want him. I want to have 3 or 4 just badass wide receivers to really to add to my offense to really do some damage this year.
So I think I don't think round 1 super likely, but I wouldn't rule it out in round 2 or round 3. I look at this roster and you have 2 good young receivers in Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. And Khalif Raymond, I think, was a good addition as the wide receiver 3. You don't necessarily need a superstar at wide receiver 3 when you have, Rome, Len Luther, on track for, bigger roles in 2026. You have Colston Loveland. I think his target share is going to look more like it did in the second half of the year, more so than it did in the first half. Cole Kmet's still a solid contributor. DeAndre Swift is going to get plenty of targets in the passing game.
Not forget Jade Walker. That dude comes up big when you're too worried about Rome Odunze and Luther Burden III, Johnny Walker had some really big catches last year.
Yeah, and I think Walker, he's a guy who's probably, he'll compete for wide receiver 3 for sure. I think I'd give the edge to Raymond just because he has like a bigger, he's a little bit more proven at this stage, but I think
Bigger body
Walker's
of
going
work.
to, but Walker's going to factor into the rotation for sure. But from there, it's like, who knows? You're looking at JP Richardson, who was on the practice squad all of last year. Maurice Alexander has one career NFL catch, and then that's it. Those are the 6 receivers they have on the roster. So when you're looking at most NFL teams usually roster 6 receivers, and you usually have to find a couple guys, that you cut or you keep on the practice squad. So they're going to, they have no choice but to add talent at that position. And I think that if they find good value, which again, I think in receiver, there's a lot of potential for some really good complementary, like wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 type of guys in, the second or third round. I think it would make a lot of sense. So, I mean, it all depends on who's available, if that's, the best player on their board. But I think round 3 especially would be a really good option for the Bears to be like, okay, maybe they look at, Skylar Bell out of UConn. They take advantage of, okay, he's not a power 4 guy, but he was super productive this year. He's got, refined route runner, good athlete, or, somebody like Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. Again, another smaller school guy, but tremendous height, tremendous raw speed. He's shown flashes as a route runner. There are a good handful of guys like in that round 3 range. Deion Burks out of Oklahoma, just an electric athlete at the position. Brendan Thompson had the fastest 40-yard dash, coming out of Mississippi State. Fastest guy at the combine this year. Really athletic, stretches the field well. I think there's a strong possibility that there's going to be good value for the Bears at receiver in round 3. Round 2, I wouldn't rule it out either, but they
What about
need
Bryce
to.
Lance out of North Dakota State?
Yeah.
He is another dude who's got really good size like his brother.
Yeah.
But he's got some speed. And that was the one thing that we needed was that I wanted to see, because we saw Christian Watson with the Packers go up against CJ Gardner-Johnson and just ran a crossing route. And CJ Gardner-Johnson just couldn't stay with him. And if that's one thing Ben wants to do, well, there's your guy, big, extremely athletic wide receiver who can go. Now you got Rome clearing out, Luther Burden clearing out, and coming across with a dude who runs a 4.3, 4.4.
Yeah.
And now you're putting, these nickelbacks usually aren't the fastest of the DBs. And now you're going to have problems, and problems that we've seemed to have when teams match up and find and mismatch us. Now we can put the mismatch on them.
100%. I mean, Bryce Lance is another guy. I think like round 3 especially would be a good target range for him. If he's there in round 4, you have to take it. I don't think he's going to be there that late though. And it's funny you do bring up Christian Watson. Obviously they went to the same school and they have very similar profiles. Like they're both tall, big, wide receivers with just blazing speed. But I mean, Lance has had more production. He had more production in college than Watson did. I mean, Lance had consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, really good hands, really good speed. The route tree is raw, but when you have as many weapons as Chicago has right now, like going back to what you said earlier, you can have Lance be kind of that one-trick pony where he just runs go routes. He runs deep crossers. Just take advantage of that impressive speed that he has and stretch the field vertically where, you're probably not going to have him running zig routes very often or anything like that. You're probably not going to have him running, routes with double moves by any stretch of the imagination. No corner routes for him. But I think the size and the speed and, the ball skills that he has is something that would have to be considered. And I think it would be a lot of fun to have in Chicago's offense.
How much input do you think is Ben? How much? I mean, obviously we know Ryan is the guy who pulls the trigger, but how much is Ryan more the puppet now and Ben the puppeteer?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Ben definitely has a say in evaluations and stuff like that. I mean, and as he should. I mean, if he's the head coach, especially on offense, if he's the offensive play caller, he needs to be able to say, hey, I would love to have this guy in my offense. This is somebody that we could do some really cool things with, as opposed to, all right, maybe Poles loves this offensive tackle, but Ben's like, all right, well, I don't necessarily think he's a great fit for what I'm planning on doing. Then that becomes a bit of a problem, you know? So I definitely think there's some input there. I'm interested to see how this draft class plays out because I expect it to be more defense heavy near the top with what the Bears do with those first couple picks. And, you know, so I anticipate Dennis Allen's going to have some sort of say in that as well. But I think Johnson, especially with him being the head coach and the play caller on offense, I'm definitely sure that, you know, like looking at last class specifically, where you're talking about Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Ozzie Trapillo, you know, Kyle Monangai, you know, and they brought in Luke Newman as well on the offensive line. I'm definitely sure that he had some sort of impact in that. And watching those guys being like, hey, this is somebody that I think fits my vision for what I want this offense to be.
Yeah, I asked that because I think, is there a possibility that Ben Johnson says, okay, look, I'm putting up 35. Can you put up 35? I can put up 35. Can you put up 35? You know,
yeah.
And that's why I asked about the wide receiver, you know, in the second, maybe third round, because it's tough to score 35 points in the NFL. But if you got enough jokers, you got enough playmakers, and the Bears seem to have a shitload of playmakers from Rome. Hopefully Rome, I've lost a lot of confidence in Rome. I'm not out on him yet, but I've lost a lot of confidence in him. I think Luther Burden is ready to have to leapfrog Rome. But nonetheless, they're both two phenomenal receivers. You know, Rome led the NCAA in yards his last year. Luther Burden led the NCAA in yards after catch his last year in Missouri. So you got some playmakers. And then obviously we saw Jade Walker coming up with big catches. Colston Loveland led the team in yards last year. So we got players. And if he added another one, say, okay, now pick one. Well, you can only cover two of them, maybe three. And only a small group of teams can cover three. I got four, maybe five. Good luck with that. That's why I'm thinking maybe our best defense is a powerful offense.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, and it definitely showed in a couple games this year where the defense, it very clearly wasn't amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, you still have, you know, some strong weapons in the offense, and the passing attack is able to make some big plays. I mean, I point to that Bengals games specifically. I mean, it's not very often that your defense gives up more than 40 points and you're still able to pick up the win. And like, you know, San Francisco with the 49ers game, I mean, they ended up losing, but they the defense gave up 42 points, and that was still a super tight game that came down to the last play of the game.
Yeah.
So definitely they have the offense to win or at least compete in those shootouts to where, or maybe the defense doesn't do tremendous every single week, but you can trust the offense to make some big plays. So I mean, I definitely think the defense needs to be the priority, but I wouldn't be mad at all if they bring in just like one more weapon in the earlier rounds to be like, all right, this is, you know, because like you said, I mean, teams can cover two weapons pretty well. There's some who can cover three weapons pretty well. If you're talking about four, maybe five, that becomes a lot more difficult to consistently defend. So, I definitely wouldn't rule out them taking one more weapon. Probably not the first round, like I said, but I do think maybe round 2, round 3, taking advantage of that and, you know, making that work.
Guys, again, we're joined by Jacob Infante. He is a Bears and NFL draft contributor over at Windy City Gridiron. We're talking Bears draft here on Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Let's move back in on the defense, move back to the third level. You talked about safeties. One of the names that's come up as a guy who could probably be moved to safety is Keontae Scott, cornerback out of Miami. Your thoughts on him, and then any other potential safeties that the Bears may be looking at?
Yeah, so this safety class is really intriguing to me, and it's another position where it's like I like the day two value better than I do round one, where I mean, Caleb Downs isn't going to be there. Dylan Thieneman probably isn't going to be there. Emmanuel McNeil Warren might, but I don't think there's a massive drop off between him or someone like, say AJ Halsey out of LSU.
LSU, yeah.
Yeah, if you're trading Stukes out of Arizona, where okay, he played a lot in the nickel, but he also played in the box a good amount, projects as well as a deep safety. Same goes with Keontae Scott out of Miami, primarily a nickel in college, but also played a lot in the box, played a lot underneath. Then you're looking at guys like Zakee Wheatley at Penn State, Jalen Kilgore, South Carolina. Like there's all those guys I think are good day two values where round two or maybe like Wheatley round three, Kilgore round three, but the other guys you're looking at probably in round two. So I think there's a lot of good value. I mean, obviously it's a need. They lost Byard and Brisker and CJ Gardner Johnson. He played, in the nickel mostly out of necessity, but he has also played a good amount as a safety in his NFL career too. But those guys are gone. They brought in Kobe Bryant, which I think is a better long-term option for them. But at the same time, you still need one more starter. Like you brought in Cam Lewis, he's a backup caliber guy. You re-signed Elijah Hicks, he's a backup caliber guy. So I think that's a big need in their starting lineup right now. But luckily for them, there should be some really good value round 2 and round 3.
Yeah, I was looking at in some of the mocks and then just kind of going up and checking out some film. The McNeil Warren, AJ Halsey, Kamari Ramsey, Bud Clark, Jalen Kilgore. I think there is a lot of value, and I think that's why, which is why I posed a question like, hey, let's just jump back in a second because now we got a whole bunch of talented players, from 20 on, like you said, to like 50 or 60. They can go 22 or 57. You know what I mean? Anywhere in there. And, and if the Bears get them later, again, as much as I don't want to talk about it, it is a real thing, is that money. Money's a big issue. And if I get this dude later, there's a lot of second round picks and we can get quality value. That's awesome for the Bears because they said we still got that 800-pound gorilla in the room is Caleb's contract has got to come up real soon, and that's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap at all. Give me some of your sleepers that you think the Bears might get. Maybe it's a linebacker they like. Maybe it's an offensive lineman they see. Give me one sleeper pick the Bears might take in this draft.
So it's tough to narrow down because there's so many different guys that I like in like that day 3 kind of range. One guy that comes to mind, I'd say Landon Robinson out of Navy is a name that I really enjoy watching. I mean, I talked earlier about they prefer the undersized, smaller defensive tackles, and Robinson fits that mold. I mean, he's short, he's sub 6 foot, so definitely shorter for the position. Which is part of why he's going on day 3 to begin with. But he won. He was named as the American Conference's Defensive Player of the Year. He was an All-American for Navy. You're looking at a guy who's just an incredible athlete. Came in with a 4.87 40-yard dash and a 6.5 10-yard split at 297 pounds. Just a super explosive coming off the snap. He's got good quick hands, deep arsenal of moves he could use to shed blocks, to stack and shed in the run game or create penetration in the passing game as a pass rusher. Just a super high motor, high character guy. I had the chance to interview him for PFSN like a month ago now. Just super good guy. He's got his head on straight, and you watch the tape too. The athleticism is top notch, and what he can do as a pass rusher is very special along the interior. So obviously undersized, but he's someone who can definitely fit that bill as well.
I think that's good. What was his name again?
Landon Robinson
from
Navy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited. Next week cannot get here. Cannot get here fast enough. Next Thursday, I'm fired up about it, I just can't wait. I want to see who they do, what they do. who they get, if they trade back, get more picks. Man, this last year was a great season. I'm looking to see how they fill all the holes that they have in, with the departures. So it's going to be good. Jacob, I appreciate your time as always, man. Great stuff. Do me a favor, though, before you go, let everybody know they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Jacob Infante 24. You can see, the username over there. My Bears specific stuff is over at Windy City Gridiron. My NFL, general NFL draft stuff is over at PFSN, so ProFootballNetwork.com. We're going live for the NFL draft all 3 days, so that should be a lot of fun to break all those picks down. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me. And I appreciate you having me, Shawn. It's always a pleasure. So thanks for having me on.
Man, likewise, man. We'll be in touch soon. You have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too, man.
All right, buddy. Guys, that's Jacob Infante from Windy City Gridiron. Man, he threw out a lot of names, dude. I'm fired up. Dude, I got more fired up after talking to Jacob. I'm looking forward to Thursday. That's going to be one heck of a day. One heck of a day. It's Grown Man Christmas. We talk about it. It is Grown Man Christmas. All right. And there's no other way to put it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hope springs eternal. We're looking to fill these the departures that we had, and Grown Man Christmas next Thursday. It starts next Thursday, April 23rd from the Steel City, not Gary, not the GI, but Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's going to be dope, and I can't wait. I'll let you guys know where I'm going to be if you want to join me. It'll probably be Branding Iron, but I'm not sure. But we'll see. It's going to be one heck of a draft, and I'm anxious to see what other teams take. All right, we know Fernando Mendoza's most likely going to go number one. Who do the Jets take? Who do the Giants take? And it's cool that it's a dual-edged sword. The Bears picking so late sucks because they really have to let the board fall to them, but it sucks because they had such a good season. It's the price you pay for having a good season. So here's where the coaching staff really is going to earn their keep. If you can continue, and this is where people remember they talked about sustainability, no one-trick pony or one-time wonder. They want sustained success. Well, if you want sustained success, well, then you have to be able to scout very well. You have to be able to draft very well. And most importantly, you need to be able to develop very well, because you're not getting the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. You're getting 20 and beyond. I'm not saying they're not good football players. What I'm saying is you're not getting the impact, the game changers that usually go in the first 8, maybe 10 picks. Okay. So you're going to have guys who could come in and be ready, but you're going to have to be able to develop these youngsters, okay, and have them get acclimated to your scheme, offensively, defensively, either way, so they can become big-time contributors for a long time, minimum 4 to 5 years. And that's what you see a lot of good teams do. The core stays together. The things that change are the last 10, 15 guys on the roster every year. Okay? That's where the Bears, they have to start getting quality players, which is why the big exodus of players this offseason was surprising and kind of disappointing to me. Thought it sucked. Okay? The safeties, all of them are gone. Kevin Byard, Jonathan Owens, Jaquan Brisker, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You're like, man, all of them. So I need consistency. I need some guys who are going to be here for a while and get comfortable playing alongside each other, playing special teams. And one of the things that's important that people seem to forget about is special teams. How important it is, because if you have guys who are backup linebackers, backup DBs, and they are special team aces, it levels up your entire team. When you have special team aces who are in those positions for 2 or 3 or 4 years, that adds. And then you get one dynamic player, a la Devin Hester. And you got guys who've been there, been in special teams blocking for 2 or 3 years. Guess what? They're very comfortable with this. So we got to start getting depth. You know, the Noah Sewells of the world. I'm not sure where where he stands. I'm not sure if his contract is up yet or what, but I like the Noah Sewell. He was a big contributor on special teams. We need more DBs and more linebackers on special teams blocking, because if we can get one somewhat special kick returner, that takes our special teams, our return game to another level. And we've already seen here firsthand how a special, truly special kick returner can alter a game. So let's try and emulate that. Now, granted, you're going to need a kicker, a kick returner, but the most important thing we don't talk about, we need the people to block for that particular kick return. And that's where I'm talking about getting depth and keeping these guys, these backup linebackers, backup corners, backup safeties, who feel comfortable in Richard Hightower's system. Be there 3-4 years, so when we get that guy, that returner, or any decent returner, because we can get a whole bunch of returners, wide receivers, whatever. But if we get that special returner, we can really, really alter the outcome of games on special teams. That's the third phase that a lot of people often overlook. A lot of coaches often overlook that as well. So it's going to be interesting on Thursday, round 1. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. Grown Man Christmas. I don't know what. I kind of want to do a show, but it's only going to be a half hour. You know, the time slot that I have. Then they have other stuff there as well at Branding Iron, so I'm not sure. I am not sure where I'll be next Thursday. But listen, let's not forget, folks. All right, grab your Sports Zone Chicago gear. Go to sportzonechicago.com. Okay. Get your FGB shirts. Get your FGB hoodies. Get your Bears Victory Monday t-shirts. Get your Sports Zone Chicago hoodies, hats, quarter zips. Get your Coaching Matters t-shirts. Get your Cigar Fanatic t-shirts. You know, here's your Good, Better, Best t-shirt. Good, Better, Best hoodies. Bears Victory Monday. We're going to have a lot of those, I'm telling you. We're going to have a lot of those. And here, I told you, I promised you guys this. We're able to get it done. I'm fired up about it. Don't forget, get your tickets for the double nickel all linen celebration for the SuperBack. And here's the information you need. I changed it to avoid the fees on Eventbrite. You can Zelle me, just put the Zelle tag, Sports Zone Chicago. PayPal, ShawnSierraSports at Gmail. Or you can Venmo me at Shawn-Sierra. Do me a favor. Make sure you put your full name, yes, your government name, and how many tickets you want. They're $55 a person. I'll be able to do the math. Trust me, I'm pretty smart. However, I just want to make sure that there are no mistakes. I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, I thought I paid for this and I said no. If it's you and plus one, just put, Mondo Lara the third, 2. So you and someone else, 2 tickets total. But I mean, I'll be able to tell by the amount that's in. But I just want to cover my ass. Okay, put your full name, whole government, Sorry, King Booker World. Sorry, Black Diamond. And the amount of people, total number of people in your group. So if you're bringing a group of 4, that'd be what, 220. John Anderson, Cornelius Squalls, parentheses 4, -4, whatever. Okay. Make sure you can do this now. Get your tickets now. Told you we have it done. My guy Stevie, my Steve-O got it done for me. So now I can go. I promised you I wanted to get this done. I should have had it done on Monday for you, but I didn't. And I told you I'd get it done by Friday. We got it. So here's the ticket info. All right. Change to avoid the fees on Eventbrite. Eventbrite, those fees are crazy, man. Those fees are crazy. Crazy. So King Booker World says, I rewatched the Cincy game, and you know what? The DB room needed to be overhauled. Yeah, it's easy to exploit them. It was very easy. All right. The lack of speed they had in the secondary was troubling. It was troubling. And despite the fact that a lot of big plays were made, defensively, they were subpar. You know, personally, I hope you get a big DT. I know my guy EJ Standard says you don't take a big run stopper in the first round. But if Caden McDonald is there, I'm taking him. I don't want people to run the ball on us. With our second round picks, we can get quality, good defensive, good edge rushers in the second round. How many of those games would have been, or how many of those comebacks could have been avoided if our defense wasn't giving up points, if our defense wasn't giving up yards and real estate? How many comebacks? Because I'll tell you what, I am not against the comeback. I just rather not have to have them. I would rather have a boring win, 28, 30, 31-14. Nothing too crazy. Okay. And I just don't want that. I don't want that again. It's exciting. It's fun. People go nuts. Give me boring. Give me the Bears. Go down. Opening drive. Score. Next drive, go to march down. Field goal. We're up 10-0. It's a 2-score game. Second quarter, get another touchdown. Third quarter, first drive out of the half. Boom, boom, boom. Another touchdown. Now we're looking at 31. I'm sorry. 24, excuse me. If you can get one in the fourth, now we're looking at 31. Nice, easy, boring. Give me boring. Because if we're boring, that means we are methodical. We are in a space, and I don't expect us to get to that this year, but I will tell you this. I'll expect us to be well on the road to getting to that level. We will be well on the road to getting to that level of, it's boring. We'll put up 28, 30 points. You put up 30 points a game in the NFL, that's a lot. That's a lot. That helps defenses, allows you to play with a lead. And if we can make teams try and come back against us, I'd much rather have that than having to come back. We know we got a guy that we can rely on if we need it to come back. I'd much rather not have to do that. Okay? And that's gonna require getting out early and tacking on as the game goes on. You guys, do you have any questions? Shorty looked at, he said, well, why is everyone overlooking Austin Booker? I think he's about to blow up. I do too, Shorty. I do too. I think Austin Booker is going to have a really, really big year. All right. I think he is the poster boy for draft and develop. Remember when Austin Booker came out, a lot of people said he should have stayed another year. A lot of people said he was raw. Well, okay. You come here and you work with a good defensive line coach. You work with a Montez Sweat. Okay. You work with a Dayo Dengbo. They're going to help you work on your game. Coaching. They've sat down and watched film. He's taken to the coaching. So I think Austin Booker's about to blow up. And you know what? If we have, here's the cool part. If we draft an edge and he turns out to be good, and Austin Booker blows up and turns out to be good, I didn't get to tell Jacob. We said they don't have any star power on the other side of Montez Sweat. I'm like, Montez Sweat isn't a star. He's not a star. He does not show up in big moments. Granted, end of the regular season, Packer game, sack. I will not take that away from him. Great time to show up. Other than that, how impactful were your 10 sacks? How impactful? Did it stop a drive? Did it stop them from scoring? Did it put them behind? You know what I mean? That's what I need. I need his Montez Sweat, $100 million man or $96 million man. I need his sacks to come at the end of the game. I need them to worry about him like they worry about Micah Parsons at the end of the game. At the end of the game, you better know exactly where Micah Parsons is. At the end of the game, they need to know exactly that, all right, Montez Sweat's going to be on the right. We need to make sure we double team him or chip him. They need to expend a lot of resources on him, especially late in the game. And that's when his game should step up to another level, and it hasn't. Because we played so many teams who have a game-changing edge rusher. So many teams. And when we're up, you can feel the momentum if we're up. And they're trying to get the ball back. I want that feeling to go to other fan bases. I want them to have the, oh man, we gotta stop Montez Sweat. We gotta stop Austin Booker. We gotta stop TJ Parker. I want that. I want other teams to feel that discomfort. Hey, listen. 2 hours is come and gone. I'll put this up again. All right, guys. If you're planning to go to my birthday party, you know what? I'll have Steve put the date underneath there again. July 25th, 4:30 to 7:30. But there's the tickets. All right, $55 a person. You can Zelle me. Actually, Zelle's my company, so you're going to have to create a contact that you can. So just put Sports Zone Chicago, and then in the first name or split it up. Sports Zone last name Chicago, but then it says phone number, email, or Zelle tag. Put Sports Zone Chicago in that place. And it'll say Damka Enterprises. Okay. That's what it's going to say. Okay, it'll say Sports Zone Chicago is registered as Damka Enterprises. Okay, that's my company. That's the company that owns Sports Zone Chicago. Okay, so don't get freaked out. Say, oh, who's Damka? Ah. That's the company that owns Sports Zone Chicago. So when you create that contact on Zelle, it'll say Sports Zone Chicago is registered as Damka Enterprises. Okay. But I want to thank my guest, Jacob Infante, for coming on talking Bears with us. I want to thank you guys. You made it a phenomenal, phenomenal show. And I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend, an excellent weekend. It's going to be 80 today. I like that kind of party, baby. Yeah, yeah. 80 degrees. 80 degrees. When I tell the chick, please raise up off these NUTs because you get none of these at ease. And then we're going to drop 15 degrees and go to 66 tomorrow. 95% chance of rain. 50 on Sunday. 50 on Monday. But then next week, the low 70s. Nice. 71 Monday. 68. All right, 55 Monday. 71 Tuesday. 68 Wednesday. 75 Thursday. 72 Friday. All right, next week we turn the corner a little bit. Okay? Turning the corner a little bit. But I want to thank you guys. Don't forget, make sure you get your Sports Zone Chicago swag. All right, don't forget to order your tickets for the boat party. Bang. There's a ticket info, $55 a person. All right, I changed it from Eventbrite. I don't want you guys paying fees. Fees are crazy, ridiculous. I didn't want you to do that. All right, folks, have a phenomenal weekend. I appreciate the love and the support. We'll see you guys on Monday at 12:15. Second City Sports with Lakina and Sid, taking another 2-hour tour of Chicago sports. But for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, ShawnSierra, letting you know and telling you, let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. Boy, the SuperBack, I am out.
Come on, race the race.